time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
I must break you.
If you said Rocky IV,
I must break you.
you're correct. Now, back to the show.
Oh, so good. So good. All right, what do you got in the news there, man?
Well, first up, the DOJ investigating SoCal homelessness spending for fraud and hints at arrests. California's new attorney announced Tuesday he's investigating billions of dollars of homeless spending for fraud and corruption and promised to arrest individuals found to have violated federal law. Bill Asali. Yeah, it's a new guy.
Okay, listen. How can it go any other way? There's so much money being allocated to something.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's a bullet train or homeless or whatever, you're just going to start writing checks for billions of dollars.
I'll take the money.
Then some of that money's going to go somewhere. I mean, it's just like the PPE stuff or whatever the COVID fraud, people getting money from prison. Yeah. You know all about it.
I know the guy who did it, allegedly.
The guy who's in prison now, the guy who wrote the rap song
He was in the
about
prison doing that PPE stuff. I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy that was the guy.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Well, how is it possible for the government just to print money and just start pushing it out into the trillions without a bunch of grift and graft? I mean, of course it's going to happen. Now, here's kind of the problem with Los Angeles. And here's what I would say if I was pocketing a lot of homeless money or anything.
All right.
If somebody said to me, look, Adam, we're going to put you in charge of graffiti removal. We're going to give you trillions of dollars. We're going to billions. I would say to my people, okay, let's all buy Lamborghinis. Let's all start doing a lot of coke. Let's all eat caviar for breakfast. But we got to get rid of some of the graffiti because eventually they're going to just be walking around going, what the fuck is going on? We're giving you all these millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and I still see more graffiti than there was before we started giving you the money. So the problem with all the homeless shit in LA is it's the money spent with zero results. I don't think most people, let's just say somebody said, look, for every, let's see, what's a billion is 1,000, wait, is that 100 million? No, that's 1,000 million.
1,000 million.
1,000 million. If somebody said, look, for every 1,000 million we put into this, there's going to be like a couple $100 million that are just going down the fucking toilet. Like, I'd go, all right, well, at least there'll be 800 million worth of results. But we don't get any results. Yeah. We get more of what we don't want. So we get more graffiti and then 24 billion spent on graffiti removal. So
there are 75,000 homeless individuals here in Los Angeles. And I'm sorry, that's in California.
Right.
45,000 in Los Angeles.
Right. And so here's what they can't. This is an ongoing problem, and it's not the homeless problem. Did you get a boner when you met Dolph?
Man, Dolph Lundgren is an icon.
Fucking.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Mayhem had lit when he walked in here, man.
I just came from sparring, and then Drago's here. What the hell?
Yeah,
I love this show.
Find that. There's an article or tweet that I told Andrew to find about homelessness and a new bill. I think there's some new bill in Los Angeles or California bill. But here's what I've said. Okay, listen to me, everyone. I'm going to have a mental breakdown.
Don't do it.
I had, as you guys know, Gavin Newsom was in here years ago, and I said, here's who the homeless are, and here's what the problem is. And he told me I didn't know what I was talking about. And then Dr. Drew, who's a board-certified physician and an addiction medicine specialist tried to volunteer his time for the LA City Council to talk about the homeless problem, and they kicked his ass out. They didn't want him volunteering.
Yeah,
they would not take a board-certified physician. Okay, so you have 10 yentas in the city council who know nothing about addiction, dealing with a problem that is solely about addiction, kicking off a doctor who specializes in addiction. So, do they want to solve this problem? I sure as fuck.
They sure want to dance around looking like they're trying to solve the problem.
If I said, look, we got a problem here with this warehouse because it's always leaking, the roof is always leaking, there's water everywhere, and the furniture gets ruined, and a lot of my important stuff, documents, they get ruined by the water. We got a leaky problem, and there's all of us sitting around going, man, this is a problem. This is a problem. And then some point, some guy goes, I'm a certified roofing contractor, and I would like to volunteer to come to your warehouse to discuss this problem of a leaky roof, and I'd go, get the fuck off my property. Get out of here. And we'd all circle the wagons, and then the fucking LA Times would write stories about the roofer saying he was no good. I was like, oh, okay, problem solvers. How would one solve any problem if one cannot recognize the root of the problem? And so if somebody said those Twin Towers are gone, what happened? They were possessed by the devil, so they fell down. Okay. No. I think airplanes hit them, and I think now we have reinforced cockpit doors now, so airplanes don't hit other shit. But if you just said they were possessed by the devil, then we would not have reinforced cockpit doors, and maybe more airplanes would be hitting more stuff.
Yeah.
I can't read this from here, tiny. Dawson. Maybe you can read it, but it's an assembly bill. What is the assembly bill, Dawson?
Homelessness is a policy failure primarily caused by the affordability of housing in California.
Okay, not true.
Yeah.
Not true.
That's
I don't know anyone who's ever been homeless because of their paycheck, but keep going.
With over 1 million extremely low-income households spending more than one-half their income on rent, and not the result of personal failings of people experiencing homelessness.
They're homeless because they're junkies. Mm-hmm. They're fucking junkies, or they're crazy, or they're both. That's why they're homeless. I used to have 3 roommates in a 1-bedroom apartment. I shared a futon with a dude. And then later on, me and another dude had his brother's bunk beds in the same fucking room, like we were 9, except we were 23. But fucking imagine trying to bring a chick back to a bunk bed.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but, okay, sorry, keep going.
You got to hear the rest of this. The housing crisis is the result of decades of failed housing policy coupled with structural and institutional racism. And a lack of sufficient investment in affordable housing and other programs to address homelessness.
Oh, okay.
I think take the race thing out, and it's kind of true that, the rent is really high everywhere. Yes. But that's no excuse to spin out into a drunken stupor and just be homeless all the time, methed out of your mind.
I don't know. Look, who wrote this fucking retarded bill?
Looks like Laura Powell.
Oh, dumb chick number 7 who's fucking running California into the ground. All right.
She's a homeless expert?
Not anything expert. All right.
Well, she's got an Esquire at the end of her name, so she may be a lawyer.
All right. So good luck solving this problem that you do not know what the root cause is. So
we're going to do a full audit. Bill Asaley is calling for some heads, it sounds like.
Well, okay, first off, you fucks can't build housing. Other people build housing, but you will not let them build housing because you regulate them to death. So it's not affordable, so they can't do it. So all of your regulation is what caused not enough housing. But even if there was enough housing, drug addicts they like doing drugs. And there's plenty of shelters, and they do not avail themselves of the shelter beds because the rule is you got to be clean to use the shelter.
I'll tell
and they
you from
won't
my
do
experience that there isn't a lot of shelters. And from my experience that guys get stuck in no man's land of just a drug haze and
Well,
just quit.
I
They
should
quit
not
society.
say. I should not say a lot of shelter beds. There are resources that one could avail themselves
It's true.
of.
It's true.
If you are a sober mother who's freshly divorced, like fucking Gavin Newsom's comments, go fucking pull him up. Pull up his take on homelessness. He's insane.
Backwards,
He's clinically insane. He thinks it's a mom. If there is a mom. If that mom has a couple of kids and that mom is sober and that mom is divorced and that mom has a work ethic, there are places and things, there's an apparatus for her to go.
I went through it.
And first, yeah, it's her, okay, first thing, it's her family.
Yeah.
We've all had people crash on the sofa. I've had plenty of dudes crash on my sofa, and I've crashed on other people's sofas.
Yeah.
And we had homelessness overnight, as I've said, Palisades, Malibu, Altadena. Overnight, there were thousands and thousands of Los Angelinos without a home. So this is your definition, no home. Did any of them sleep on the sidewalk, or did they use their apparatus? They got on the phone. They said, hey, man, I need to crash out. And they got up and they did it.
At Dr. Drew's house.
At Dr. Drew's house. That's what I did. The point is it's not about housing. If it was about housing, then those people who were dehoused would sleep. A percentage of them would sleep. I would reckon 0 people were put out by the fire, spent the night outside the next night. That's 0%. So it's not about that. Wait, do you have that clip?
They camped out in their G-Wagons.
It's so good. It's so good.
All right.
Oh, maybe we don't have it.
Little technical difficulty.
We have it. It just decided not to play. Stand by.
Oh, okay. You just give a thumbs up when it's playing. Look, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but what I'm saying is how would one solve a problem that one does not identify whatever that problem is? I mean, you know it.
They didn't mention it in there that it's a drug-related problem. They mentioned more of the housing angle of it, which is a portion.
But also racism in Los Angeles in 2025? How's that factor in?
You know, it's the pepper grinder of racism that they use every once in a while just to sparkle in there, to get the agenda across.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe it's not working correctly, Dawson. Huh? This notion of the guy's a hardworking, God-fearing family member. The guy's a lost his job and now had to take to the streets. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I like the remix,
We'll
though.
do it. Yeah. Put some mute. A little Grace Jones under there.
Pete on that thing.
This notion of the guy's a hardworking, God-fearing family member who lost his job and now had to take to the streets is total and utter bullshit.
But what about the picture of real homelessness, which is a poor mom with 2 kids with a husband who took off and left her, who's sitting there struggling on that minimum wage job, and all of a sudden now is out in the streets and sidewalks desperately trying to find some help, get her life back, can't get those kids into child care.
I think that's what happened to
can't
Jewel.
afford them. That's the tough thing.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that's a picture of family homelessness in this country.
That's a postage stamp.
No,
the real picture is bigger than the AIDS quilt, and those are crazy junkies.
Yeah, but no. So what? No, see,
but no. Well, how are you going to solve a fucking problem if you just go, but no? All right. So now he's in charge, and he's worried about moms that have been divorced and have a full-time job, and they're out on the street, except for that doesn't exist.
It's like the Hallmark version of homelessness. I've seen real homelessness.
I don't know.
Something else.
You know what I can't figure out about that fucking life-size, fucking full-size tard over there named Gavin Newsom? Who's he worried about offending? I don't know. What's his constituency? Oh, yeah, meth heads and junkies and, people with deep mental. I guess his constituency are people with deep mental issues. What's wrong? Who are you offending? You just go... Look, it's a lot of drugs.
Well,
and it's a lot of mental problems.
Independent,
and we need to clean it up. Why are you painting a picture of homelessness that literally doesn't exist?
Rosie.
And then why would, okay, so when he said that, we had a homeless problem, and now we have a tenfold homeless problem because he said homeless was his thing. Listen, everybody, his two biggest things are homelessness problems and the bullet train. Let's give a grade score on how he's doing over the last decade on homeless problem and the bullet train. Is there such a thing as an F minus or is it just an F?
Participation. He showed up to work.
FUU? Like what? Look, if you were super generous, if you're the biggest fan of Gavin Newsom
Which
ever, and you were like, I'm going to give him a score, I'm going to take the homeless problem and I'm going to take the bullet train. And by the way, those are his passion projects. That's what he's passionate about. It's come out of his own mouth 1,000 times. I would be super generous and go, I'll give him an F on the homeless and a D minus on the bullet train just because I'm in a good mood or something. I mean, it's a fucking failure. He's a failure.
Keeps getting elected, though.
We have a great montage. From starting in 08. 08, we have a great montage of Gavin Newsom and his train.
You can get down to L.A. in 2.5 hours, $55. In California, we're still debating the high-speed rail. What a joke.
Well, finally, California is going to get it right with this new high-speed rail.
I personally have been supportive of the high-speed rail project since my time as mayor of the city and county of San Francisco.
The project is no longer a $33 billion project.
18.
The project's years and years behind. The project's wildly over budget. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
You can get phase one done, which in essence is from Bakersfield to Silicon Valley. We do have the capacity
19.
to complete a high-speed rail link between Merced and Bakersfield. Now, I know some critics are going to say, well, that's a train to nowhere.
Taxpayers.
We have a real federal partner
21.
with our high-speed rail system, an incredible opportunity to finish the work.
High-speed rail was mentioned. $4.2 billion
22.
has been requested of the legislature to finish the job.
Someone who's all in on the high-speed
23.
rail.
The high-speed rail, not as a rail project, but an economic
24.
development project. $3.6
25.
billion. It's about damn time we have a high-speed rail system.
I can't even get to Merced.
It's kind of fun. It'll be fun when someone is able to put this montage together 30 years from now, and there's just a guy who looks like Gandalf on there with like a long gray beard and a cane, like a staff, wearing a robe.
You shall not board.
Talking about high-speed rail because we'll have the technology to go from young, vibrant Gavin Newsom to old, decrepit Gavin Newsom talking about high-speed rail.
Gonna have a Gavin Newsom cloned.
My kids are I'm gonna tell them both. Like when you guys are about 45 or 50, you're gonna have the greatest montage ever. It's gonna be a man's life span.
A
talking
jar
about
in a head.
rail.
Talking about high-speed rail.
Jesus fuck.
I'm in a head in a jar.
Christ.
That's 17 years, almost 18 years.
It's been going on, man. I'm just trying to get up to the party in San Francisco.
He can't do things. He's not functional or capable. I don't know what people want.
The thing that gets me is all the people in California who absolutely adore this man. He can do no wrong.
Last thing
He got a lot of ribs, I got to tell you.
My mom told me before she died, I'm voting for Gavin Newsom. I'm like, okay, I guess you don't pay taxes or do anything.
During the lockdowns, one of my friends called me up and said, "Well, I'm really glad we got Gavin Newsom as our governor because he's going to save us." You're a fucking idiot.
You know the fucking problem? The thing that's funny about all this? I love any clip from like 2020, 2021, 2022, especially any Democratic clip where the person is on the mic bloviating and everyone behind him is wearing a mask, but the one person with their mouth open that's yelling about stuff does not have a mask on, and everyone just went, yeah, that's how we're going to do this. And so it's like, I will sit silently with my mask on in the back, and then when it's my turn to bloviate, I'll pull the mask off and start spreading disease. Okay.
The latest thing I saw in some kind of Twitter thread was that people are not wearing masks because they're afraid to stand out from the public and make a stand for safety. Whereas before, when we did stand up and make a stand for FU totalitarianism, we were ridiculed for not doing the same thing as everyone else.
All right, let's do one more story in here.
All right, man, it's a revolution right now. The Minecraft-obsessed teen boys are destroying movie theaters.
What is going on with this movie?
Man, the game is supposed to be building things up, but the teens just wrecking stuff. It's a viral meme that everybody's in on. When the chicken jockey comes out, which is like a rare Easter egg character in the video game, the kids go ballistic. Throw popcorn everywhere, soda. Check it out. What a fun time, man. God, I wish I was 12. I would go buck-ass wild.
I gotta tell you, when I was young... Okay, a couple things.
They're comparing it to a Rocky Horror Picture Show, like kind of a vibe for Gen Z where they're just going wild for this thing. I'm into it. It's infectious.
Yeah, it's fun. I haven't seen the movie.
I would hate if I worked at AMC.
Okay, the throwing of the popcorn, I would never engage in such folly because that thing is like $11.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm eating that whole thing. And by the way, I'm eating shit off the ground.
These are suburban kids. They got disposable income.
One of my roommates used to like when a girl would break up with him, he'd give him a pie in the face, you know, and
wasteful. Yeah, I would
come and he would give, and it wasn't shaving cream; it was the Dupars or 4 and 20 pies, and then I would come home. And I'd open the fridge. I see a fucking pie from 4 and 20 pie in a box. And I'd go, Donnie, where we get this pie? Let's eat this pie. He'd go, no, I got hit Melanie Redmond in the face with it. I go, but why don't we eat it? I go, no, she broke up with me. I got to hit her with the pie. I go, when are you going to hit her with the pie? You go, well, she's coming over at like 8. I go, where are you going to do this? I mean, he said, well, I have to hide the pie on the bumper of your truck. I have to keep it out there because word has gotten out that I hit people with the pie, so they don't want to come up to the door. You know, I said, well, take a walk, then I'll get it off the bumper. I went out. When he did it to Danielle Chaikin in her driveway,
you licked her face.
I went out and ate the fucking pie off the driveway. I picked up the pie from her driveway.
Yeah.
And brought it back into her house and ate it. I mean, it had gravel in it. Because that's how into pie.
I always imagine you barefoot with like overalls on, all disheveled, with your hair every which way, just like country bumpkin.
Fishing through a dumpster.
Exactly.
I took the pie home from my pie eating contest at North Hollywood High. I took the pie off of Daniel Chaikin's driveway. I took another pie off of Otsego Street.
Pie's a real through line in your life, Carolla.
Pies were expensive for me, and they were delectable.
I'm going to cheat on my diet. I think I'm having a pie today.
I was like, cake, give me a break, but pie. I fucking love me some pie. So I would never take a tub of popcorn and just launch it into the air.
But you can understand, right, the vibe. I think a lot of people are saying, oh, they're real stuffy pearl clutching, but I'm admiring it. I wish I was in on it.
I like it. It's the straight man's Rocky Horror Picture Show is basically what this has turned into. And they even bring chickens into the theater.
Yeah, they're getting weird with it. The meme expands, you know. Anytime you meme, you can't just stay on the same level of meme. It's got to go up and up and up until you got a chicken involved.
Is this movie, what's it on Rotten Tomatoes? Is it
45%?
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Like, it's being panned by the critics. They're saying it's garbage, but I mean, it's an IP that has been popular for 10 years. Kids have grown up with it. Like, it was like their first iPad game, and now they're like 11, 12, 15 years old.
I'm the worst dad ever, because whenever my son would start getting into this shit.
Yeah. Oh, 47 to change.
88 with the people. Whenever my son would start getting into this shit, I'm such a bad dad. Like he got into Pokemon. Okay.
He just slapped the cards out of his hand?
You're going to regret this decision one day, this Pokemon stuff. And he goes, I like Pokemon. I go, yeah, you like it now, but you're going to look back and be embarrassed.
Why? Really?
Because it's nonsense. I know. You want to build a soapbox racer or something like that? Like, I'm all in. A stupid Pokemon crap. Get the fuck out of here.
See?
So I told him, you're just not going to. And then when he was like 15, he wanted to do something else or something. And I was like, remember our Pokemon conversation? Yeah. Remember now you're embarrassed? Yeah. I said, all right. Keep that in mind, because I'll tell you in advance.
But you act like you came out the womb swinging the hammer. You picked up interest as time went on and got rid of some, I'm sure.
I
ain't seen you boxing in a while.
I can only shadow box.
I hear you.
I was into Hot Wheels.
Oh, okay.
I got into
Me
Hot
too.
Wheels.
I got into
Hot Wheels. Never got into the Matchbox for some reason. I was into Hot Wheels.
So that's Pokemon, though. That's in the same, you collect them all.
I traded some Hot Wheels to a kid for what were those cards, Dawson? Garbage Pail?
Oh, those are badass.
Kids, yeah.
Wait, but what were the ones that had like fake brands like Comet, but it was called Vomit, and it was like whatever that was. Was that Garbage Pail?
Yeah, it was Garbage Pail
it was.
Kids. Yeah, they had like all different styles of art. There was like a different
They were
kid.
like the Weird Owl of trading cards. They were like someone else came up with the product, and you went from my Sharona to my Bologna or something. But the cards were like products, and I made a bad deal. I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I realized I was like, I had Hot Wheels, and I traded this kid like a Hot Wheel for a car.
Oh,
the fucking card was worth a penny. And the Hot Wheels were like $2. And I just said, like, here's 2 Hot Wheels. All right, here's 2 cards. Stupid. It was like you trading your car for a moped.
You're right, yeah.